Actually, I'm kind of enjoying sitting on the floor, so we'll just get all casual on the floor, shall we? Now, okay, so basically they did Lion Force. It was really popular. Vehicle Force came on. Everybody was like, what the hell? So they realized they had a good thing going with Lion Force, so they basically pushed Lion Force. They actually got in touch with the original animation company and collaborated with them to produce new episodes of Voltron after all the Go Lion footage had run out. So they did like 20 more episodes of Voltron after the fact. That's like, I think, the first time in history I can think of where that's been done, where a show has been brought over from Japan, Americanized, and has proven so popular that they get in touch with the original production company to make new episodes based on the American version. The only other instance I can think of where that happened was Robotech, but that was a couple years later. Voltron, as far as I'm aware, was the first time that was ever done. Now, in terms of the DVDs, wow, did they ever do a good job. Now, most of the time with 80s cartoons being released on DVD, the companies that release them just get a hold of the master tapes and transfer those straight over. You know, they'll do a bit of cleanup, you know, image sharpening, stuff like that, and that's that. With Voltron, however, okay, over in Japan, they just recently released the original Go Lion series on DVD. And prior to doing that, they dug out all the original negatives, like the 16mm film negatives of the show, from the vaults, and did all new transfers of the film over to digital format to be used for the DVDs. Now, this is 25 years later. Film transfer techniques are far superior now to what they were 20 years ago. And here's the other thing. Voltron, originally, was edited on videotape. It was, basically they had videotaped transfers of the original Go Lion films and then re-edited them and dubbed them and stuff to make Voltron. So, with the... So when Media Blasters was doing it, they basically got a hold of the original master tapes of Voltron and new transfers and the new Go Lion film transfers. And they compared the two, and the old tapes, while they were kept in impeccable condition, were definitely of lower quality than the new film transfers. So basically, what they did, and this is just blows me away, what they did was they took the new transfers of Go Lion, and then using the original Voltron master tapes as a guide, re-edited the Go Lion footage to match the original edits that were made to create Voltron. Now stop and think about that for a second. That basically means they remade Voltron from the ground up using these new higher quality elements, while matching the edits frame for frame to the original master tapes. 72 episodes of that. That is a staggering amount of work, and I can't think of a single other show in existence that has had that much work put into it, like this 80s cartoon in particular. Now there's other 80s cartoons that have been put on DVD from the original film prints, but those are ones that were originally English. So they were originally on film, or they were originally edited on film and stuff. It was, you know, a lot more work to do it with Voltron. The other thing that was cool about Voltron back in the day, not many of you may know this, but did you know Voltron was one of the very first television shows, never mind cartoons, one of the very first television shows to be broadcast in stereo. Stereo was brand spanking new in the mid-'80s. Stereo TVs were brand new. You know, all the hype surrounding high def now? Well, that's what it was like surrounding stereo sound. It was like the best thing to happen to TV since color. So, Voltron got a lot of unintentional additional press because a lot of the stores that were selling, you know, hawking these brand spanking new stereo TVs needed something they could show to demonstrate to people what a difference stereo sound makes. So what were they showing in the stores? Voltron! Not only was it stereo, but they went out of their way to make it like a really aggressive stereo mix. So you get like things on the hard right and the hard left and like panning all over the place. And there's an interview on one of the extras with one of the original sound designers, and he says, wow, it's amazing listening to it now. You almost get whiplash trying to follow the sound around, you know. But so going back to the remastering process, this presented another interesting opportunity. Now, there's been a lot of old 80s cartoons that have been put out on DVD with new 5.1 surround sound mixes. However, the original audio elements were in mono, which means in order to do it in surround sound, they've had to add stuff to the mix to beef it up, to have additional sounds to put in the other channels. Not so with Voltron. This is also a completely unique thing that I'm not aware of happening on any other 80s cartoon. The audio mix with Voltron, okay, this is one of the first stereo shows ever, so they had to invent a way to do it. And the only real, like, decent stereo audio recording equipment available was the kind of stuff that the music industry uses. So they used 24-track reel-to-reel tape to mix the audio. When Media Blasters got a hold of the master tapes and the footage, they got those original 24-track master tapes, which meant they had 24 tracks, separate, distinct tracks of sound effects, music, and dialogue that could then be given to their audio engineers to remix into 5.1 surround sound without needing to add a thing. So this is a 5.1 mix using nothing but the original sounds. The only difference is the sounds have been given more spatial separation. Now, wanting to be totally true to the source material, they put all this work into the audio and the video. They also made sure to include the original stereo mix as well. So if you really want to, if you're a purist and you want to experience Voltron the way it was originally shown, the stereo mix is there as an option. But wow! I mean, just wow! When I read about all the work that had been going into the set, even though I wasn't a big Voltron fan back in the day, I thought, you know what, I'm going to buy those sets just to support the project, in the hopes that other things down the line will be given the same kind of royal treatment. You know, these guys deserve my money, because they have put a buttload of work into this show, and it has obviously been a true labor of love for them. And, you know, and now, I mean, I'm watching the show again, and I'm enjoying it immensely, like more than I did back in the day. There's a definite cheese factor to it, but that's all part of the fun, you know. I mean, it was never intended for older audiences anyway. It's more of a younger kids show. But it's great. And you know what? Rosie likes it too. Oh. So, yeah. Voltron on DVD. Definitely a worthwhile purchase. Now, there wasn't a lot of merchandising tie-ins with Voltron when it originally came out. Basically, the main thing you had was the toys. You could get, you know, there was a few different companies manufacturing toys of the 5 lions, which could be combined together to form Voltron. I never had all 5, but I did get the Black Lion. Oh yeah. Now what's so cool about the Black Lion? Well, you get this, one of their weapons, which is pretty cool. And you get the blazing sword. Oh yeah. And not only that, Black Lion is one of the coolest because, I'll just quickly show you how it fits together. Without Black Lion, you can't make Voltron. Without any of the other lions, you're missing a limb, but you still pretty much got Voltron. But the thing about Black Lion that's really cool is he forms the body and the head of Voltron. You want to see it, don't you? I know you want to see it. I know this is what you really came for. You've been waiting and waiting. Come on, is he going to show it? Is he going to show it? He showed us the opening titles. He's got to show us the, you know what? What am I talking about? Well, I'm going to go you one better, actually. I'm going to go you one better. I know you want to see the Voltron Force forming Voltron, because that's like one of the coolest pieces of stock footage in 80s animation history. And I'm going to show it to you, but I'm going to go you one better, because in addition to that, we're going to see them going to the lions. We're going to see the lions launching. We're going to see the whole works. Alright. You guys ready? Alright, let's wrap up this Voltron review with a bang. I'm going to do another Voltron segment, maybe not today, but tomorrow, possibly, where I want to talk a little bit about some of the censorship. I have a few clips that I want to show you, and, you know, we can have a giggle or two. But for now, let's end this Voltron DVD review off with a bang, and take a look at, as I say, one of the most famous pieces of stock footage in animation history. Ready to form Voltron. Activate interlock. Dynatherms connected. Infracells up. Mega thrusters are go. Go Voltron Force!
Insert all keys. Ready to form Voltron. Activate interlocks. Dynatherms connected. Infracells up. Mega thrusters are go. Let's go, Voltron!